Welcome to 15-Minute Yoga. My name is Bill Ike, and over the next quarter hour, we're going to go through some movements that will be helpful for stretching muscles in the hips and the knees, in the fronts and backs of the legs. And while we do that, we might also be doing just a little bit that will strengthen our core and give some flexibility to the spine. Let's get started. We're going to begin on our backs. Now begin by bringing the hands behind the head, interlacing the fingers. Thumbs rest at the base of the skull. Legs are long. Raise the right leg, bending the right knee so the lower leg is parallel to your mat. And very simply, begin to turn that right foot over the left knee and then to the outside. Turn. This is a kind of a windshield wipering motion of the lower leg. Move through that motion slowly. In fact, slow down just a bit from whatever speed you were moving the leg back and forth. Now as you're moving the leg, hold it in its extreme out position and its extreme in position a little bit longer, perhaps for 2 breaths. Bring the right foot back to its neutral position. Drop the foot down to the mat for just a moment. Rest here. Bring the leg back up. And again, begin that slow movement side to side. And this time, raise the head and chest off the mat just a little bit, keeping the shoulders wide. Adding a little bit of exercise for our core muscles, for the abdominals. The next time the foot comes back to center, stop. Drop the right foot to the mat and extend the right leg long. Bend the left leg. Knee is bent. Lower leg is parallel to the mat. And again, begin to turn the left foot side to side, coming to the inside, going to the outside in a windshield wipering motion. Make the movement slower. Hold the foot out at the extremes just a little bit longer each time. The next time the left foot comes back to neutral, drop the foot to the mat. Rest for a second or two. Then lift the leg back up, and as you begin your windshield wipering motion, raise the head and chest up off the mat, elbows wide, stomach tight. You might notice a difference in the distance that the left foot can travel compared to the right. That's not unusual to find those differences between one side of the body and the other. Here, our limitations will be related to the flexibility of the knee and the hip. Once the foot comes back to neutral, drop down and bring the arms into a cactus arm position. Keep the left leg long, raise the right leg up, and just let the right foot cross over the center line a little bit. You might feel a stretch in the back of the leg and perhaps the outer right hip. Then back up. Let that foot cross over the center line and back up straight. Leg crosses over the center line and straight. Cross again. And straight. Cross one more time. And straight. This time, let the right foot cross over so the hips come up. The right hip will come up off the mat. Try and keep your shoulders on the mat. Gaze can be up at the ceiling or it can be out over the right hand, right elbow. We'll hold this position for a number of seconds here. And come back up. Let the right foot come to the mat and then go long. Before we move to the left side, let's grasp the right knee. Pull the knee in and rotate that knee. Doesn't matter which direction. Loosening the hip. And then change the direction that you're rotating. And let the foot come down to the mat. Right leg goes long. Arms are back in cactus position. Left leg comes up. Now it's wonderful if you have the flexibility for the leg to come straight up vertical. You can see that I don't have that flexibility. My leg will be at a little bit of an angle, but that's okay. Take the left foot over the center line and back. Left foot over the center line and back. Left foot drops a bit to the left and back. One more time, left foot over and back. This time, let the left foot go as far as it can while keeping the shoulders on the mat. It is unlikely that the foot will come all the way to the floor, but if it can, that's wonderful. Shoulders down on the mat mean that we're going to put more stretch in the leg. You can enhance that stretch by trying to bring the foot a little closer to the face. We'll remain in this position for several seconds. Bring the leg back up, let the foot come down to the mat, let the leg go long. Now before we abandon this position, bring the knee back in toward the chest, both hands on the knee, and begin to rotate that knee in a circular motion. And then change the direction of your rotation. Bring the foot back to the mat. Bend both knees. Now I want to change my orientation so you can see a little bit more clearly what I'm going to ask you to do. I want you to begin by taking the right ankle, right foot, and slipping it under the left knee. And then letting that right foot come down to the mat and the right knee come down toward the floor. Now, if it's in your practice today, grasp that right ankle with your left hand. You may not be able to do that today. That's okay. If that's the case, just pull the foot back towards the buttocks as much as you can. But if you can reach that right ankle with the left hand, you can pull back a bit and feel a stretch along the front of the right leg. We'll remain here for about 30 seconds. I'm going to offer you an option here of raising the left foot and placing it on the knee, on the right knee. You may not be able to do that today. That's all right. If you keep working at yoga, you'll be able to do that eventually. But that'll push that right knee down a bit, add a little more stretch to the front of the leg. and perhaps to the right hip. Okay, release. Left foot comes in the air and then goes under the right knee. Left foot comes to the ground, left knee comes to the ground. You can stay here or reach through to see if you can grasp the left ankle with the right hand and let that right knee relax, falling closer to the floor, stretching the front of the left leg. As before, you have the option of bringing the foot of the other leg, the right foot, onto the left knee. And release everything. Bend both knees, hands or arms or long hands down by the hips. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. We're in our traditional figure 4 pose, our reclined pigeon pose. But we're going to do something a little different with it this time. Bring the hands into a cactus arm type position and let the right foot slide over to the left as far as it'll go. Hold that position for a second or two, and then slowly bring it back up to center. Cross again, and slowly back up to center. Once again, drop the right foot over to the left until the legs don't allow it to come down any further. And back up. You might find as you drop that right foot down to the left side that you can actually get it down to the floor, which is wonderful if you can do that. And back up. Let the right foot come to the mat. Left ankle crosses over the right thigh. Arms are still in cactus. Drop the left foot over to the right. Hold when you get to the edge. And then back to center. Left foot to the right. And back to center. Left foot down to the right. And back to center. One more time, we'll drop that left foot over to the right. And back to center. Very good. Now, roll over onto your left side and bend your knees so that from your hip to your knee is perpendicular 90 degrees to the torso. Support the head with the left hand. Straighten your top leg. Flex the foot so you feel a stretch in the back of the leg. And then raise that leg up and back down. This motion is going to be slow and intentional. And we'll pause for just a moment when the leg reaches its high point. As you do this, you might feel, especially as the leg goes up, some additional stretch along the back of the leg. Stop. Bend both knees and roll over onto the other side. You're now on your right side. Head is supported by the right arm. Knees are bent 90 degrees to the torso. Extend the top leg, the left leg. Flex the foot and begin to raise and lower. Raise and lower. Remember to keep the foot flexed and let the motion be intentional. See if you can raise the foot just a little higher from time to time. One more. Bring the left leg back down and bend. Then roll over onto your stomach, coming up into a tabletop position, shifting the hips back toward the heels and swinging the feet out and around, coming into a seated position. That concludes our 15-minute yoga for today. Namaste.